All right, welcome to Great Transition Strategies. Today's topic, managing up. You might be amazed at how often I get that question. Hey, I need some work on how to manage up. Well, think about one of your subordinates if they came to their coach and said, I need some help managing up. Why do your subordinates need to manage you? What I've come to over time is managing up is really managing an individual's image with their leadership, with their boss. So that's how I'm approaching that. It's really about us managing our image with our leadership. Big picture, here are some big things to think about. This is the way I approach this. Think strategic, which means think long-term, long period of time, and several levels up. Get above yourself. Think about your boss and at least your boss's boss, right? So think strategic. And next one, think about your boss as your number one client, your most important client, the client that you really need to deliver to. So if you come in with a mindset, being strategic, and a client that you really have to deliver to, I think it really helps put you in a good mental space on how to approach this. All right, so with those in mind, I have 3 principles to think about. Number 1 is needs, number 2, expectations, and number 3, evaluations. And I want you to think about your leadership. Who's leading you? And think about those 3 areas. So we'll hit each one of them. Needs. What does your boss need? What does your boss need? So when you think about it, and if you're treating them as your number one client, that doesn't always mean they don't always need a yes from you. Sometimes they need a no. Sometimes they need a limitation. Here's a capability. Here's a limitation. Here's what I can do. Here's what I cannot do. So that's, as a number one client, they need negotiation and understand where you're coming from. You are an expert in an area. That's probably why they're coming to you. So they need to understand, 1, they need to understand what you can deliver. But number 2, think about what do they need. Well, they might need something for the long-term plan. Oh, they might need something for a couple levels up. What do they need? Sometimes you might need to ask directly. Sometimes they'll fluff around and you won't get it right away. So now this might take a long time for you to get it. What does my boss need? What does she need? Number 2, expectations. Expectations, what comes to mind right away for me is what time frame, budget, cost, quality. Oh, the boss says, I need this done. When do you need it? Prototype or finished product, polished? You need to work through those things. Make sure you understand what do they need. So why do they need that? All right, so we talked about needs already. So what are their expectations? Can this be iterative? Or is this going to come back and forth a couple times and we're going to work on it together? If it's a prototype, okay. It might be a case where the boss comes to you and say, look, I just need an initial prototype. We're not going to spend a lot of money. We're going to do this really quickly. And then we're going to make some decisions based on what you give me. All right. Because there's some need that, hey, I'm thinking about pitching this to your boss's boss. She's thinking about pitching it to her boss. All right, now now you're getting somewhere. Now you manage your image there. Now I can deliver. Where maybe you're a finished product kind of person and you're like, okay, I got to do this one as a prototype. Last one. The last one is, how are they being evaluated? How's your boss being evaluated? Do you know? Are they being evaluated on ROI, return on investment? Are they being evaluated on options that are being delivered? This is a case of understanding, again, strategic, getting out there, thinking strategically, long term, and a couple levels up. How are the next level folks evaluating your boss? If you can pull that out of your boss, great. If not, you might need to go get some intel, figure out what's going on, what are the other executives talking about in the organization, what's important, what's the direction that's going on. So you can see, when you're talking about managing up, you're really managing your image of them, how they think of you. But look what that does for you. It puts you a couple levels up and you're really starting to think big time. What does my leadership need? What are the expectations that they have on the deliverable? And now you're pulling more information out. And how are they being evaluated overall? So that way your number one client can understand, look back and go, wow, she really was able to deliver for me when I really needed to deliver in exactly the way I wanted it. Hope you found that helpful. I'd welcome the opportunity to work with you and help you manage up.